Good noonish. It is Sunday, July 5th, 2026, and I am at Oregon's Redwood Trail outside of Brookings, Oregon. So you can see how quiet and peaceful it is here. Wrist check. Yep, it is just right after noon. Thought it was noonish. Oh man, I love that. Moon phase. Sorry, enough wrist time there. And let's get to the star of the show. Right here. Did Oak Grove Trail or Stout Grove Trail earlier in California, and it was well worth it. There's the other side of the trail I will be coming back up, as you can see over there. It's 1.1 miles. I don't know, a couple 100-foot elevation gain, I guess. It's 4 miles on a one-lane gravel road. It's got a lot of washout, so it is. It can take you a little bit of time to get here, but it's well worth it. Now the road to Stout Grove, oh man, that was paved all the way. Even the trail all the way down to the bottom there is paved, and it's 6/10 of a mile. I definitely recommend that. Oh man, that's a beautiful, some of the biggest old growth forest I've ever seen. Man, I'm still in all that. I mean, all this too. Don't get me wrong, this is beautiful as well. But man, this has been a, so glad I did this trip. Oh, I recommend coming down to Oregon. You know, not just, you definitely got to do the coastline. Oh, didn't know if y'all saw or not. Let me see this right. You can see I got blueberry on today. Feeling a little blue. Not because of Crater Lakes swimming. Fleetwood Cove being closed, so I can't go swimming there. Not because, you know, my trip halfway over now. I got day 3 of 5 days. But because of the big 3. Wore Count Chocolate 2 days ago. Yesterday I wore Frankenberry on 4th of July. Today I'm wearing Blueberry. A little nostalgia there from my childhood. Plus I like them. Oh, but man, I hope your 2026 is going well. Mine is going pretty good. I cannot complain at all. I don't think anybody's been on this trail because I've been steadily hitting spider webs lately. There weren't too many people here, but it's way too many spider webs for it to not be the first person on the trail in a while. And that's no quinkadink. But yeah, it's been great. It was a long trip getting down here. 11 hours total on Friday. But yesterday, about 5 miles hiking. I'm gonna do about 6 miles or so. Now I did about, yeah, I'd say 6 miles yesterday. I'm gonna do about the same today. I did about a mile at least, just zigzagging all the way around Stout Grove, getting video, because it's 6/10 of a mile, but you can stretch it out for sure. And then after this, I'm gonna most likely head to Emily Peak. It's 3.5 miles round trip, up and down. So, you know, to be out and more exposed, I do believe, but hey, you know, if I got any gas in the tank, maybe head down to the beach again. Oh man, look at this. I don't hear a single thing. That is awesome. That's why I come out here. Well, to share it with y'all, but for me, this is my sanctuary. This is where I come to meditate. This is where I come to, reevaluate, my life. Can't no place do that for me but this here. And it's never told me wrong. Look at this view here. Oh my goodness. Wow. But you have this out here. Look at this. Got to get out here. Any woods you're in, doesn't matter. They're out here just waiting on you. You have to get out and find them. And the people that can't get out, thank you for watching my videos. Hopefully it inspires you. Oh my goodness, look at the size of this tree right here. But it never dawned on me until I had a family member tell me that, maybe some people watch my videos because they can't do it. And if that's the case, I understand that, and I have so much empathy for you. Oh my goodness, the size of this tree. Wow. I can give some sort of general idea. I don't know how these come out, but here I am, right up against it. Ooh. Oh my goodness, man. Wow. But work on your life, every aspect of it. Start financially. Cut back on expenses, unnecessary expenses. I spend on subscriptions just 140 bucks a year. That's it. I don't pay for anything else as far as entertainment. Now I do pay 40 bucks a year for all trails. That's for the maps, for hiking and stuff. But as far as I pay for YouTube TV. That's it. For premium, not TV, YouTube Premium for no commercials. That's it. And that's well worth 140 bucks if you use it as much as I do. Hey, look at the size of that one. Oh my goodness. They just keep getting bigger and bigger. Wow. Beautiful flowers coming in, I see. Seen some orange ones and seen some purple ones. But yeah, work on yourself. You start paying off debt. Start putting back for a rainy day. Start simplifying your life. We weren't meant to live these complicated lives, people. I tell you that right now. I've simplified my life. I concentrated more on myself. Quit worrying about what's going on outside of, my control. And took control of my life. I look for more freedom, not less. Every day. I don't want to count on the government for anything. As a matter of fact, I demand my government leave me alone. Stay out of my way or I'll run you through just like anybody else. That's an open invitation. That's the good thing about being American. I don't fear my government. No. I gotta fear them slapdicks for. They're so inept and incompetent. Nah. Let them keep doing what they're doing until the time comes. Until then, just live your best life possible, people. That's my biggest advice to you. Simplify your life. Quit trying to live your life by other people's standards. Quit trying to live in the now so much as planning and preparing, conserving for your life. Oh my goodness, look at this place. Wow. This is something else. The size of the ferns here too. Wow. You know, make time for yourselves too now. We're not robots. You know, within moderation. You know, within limitations. You know, I did this. I didn't do this because I was like, oh, I deserve this trip. No, I planned and prepared for this for months. Actually, a year in advance. Last 6 months started putting it all together. You know, and now next trip is going to be in October. And after that, it'll be in April. You know, I'll do short trips. Don't get me wrong, I'll be doing lots of hiking. Man, I cannot get over this place. I can see now why they filmed Star Wars in an area like this. Man, I remember seeing that on TV as a kid, not thinking that was real. It's real. Oh my goodness, look at this place. I promise you the video's not going to do it justice. I hope it does somewhat, but oh man. This place is truly majestic. Work on your health. You know, got a vehicle, take care of it. You know, do the preventive maintenance on it. Get the oil changes. You can get so much of your car's issues taken care of by simply changing the oil, changing the filters, and taking care of your tires. That's simple. Change your air filters, change your oil, and wiper blades too, especially when it's raining. People always, oh my goodness, look at this. The sun's coming through up here. Wow. But yeah, you know, I love the fact that pretty much everybody I have a relationship in my life, you know, is there mutually. They want to be there, and I want them there. You know, people that I don't talk to daily, they're just not in my life. It's not through my fault. You know, I allow people to dictate. You know, you don't want a relationship, we won't have a relationship. You know, never chase ships. You always get left behind. Ask anybody on a cruise ship, see if they stop and wait for them. Don't chase friendships, don't chase relationships. You always get left behind. You know, you just can't keep friendships on life support. You know, I just let them go. You know, if they expire, they expire. It's how it is. You know, I kept way too many friendships on life support. You know, just thinking, hey, that's what you're supposed to do. But no, you know, and truth be told, I was an asshole too, but that's where I've always been. You know, no use in denying your nature. But I try to be a little more considerate of an asshole now. I tell my closest friends, you've seen the worst of me. It's time you get the best of me. So, you know, I try to be the best friend I can to my friends now. You know, you young people got things all screwed up in the head. Like having lots of money and fame and influence and power. That is what y'all consider currency. See, not me. You know, honesty, loyalty, you know, that's what I look for in friends. You know, I don't want them to lie for me, and I don't want to lie for them. That's not what friendship's about. No. You know, I have some sick, twisted idea of what friendship is, and I want no part of that. I can tell you that. You know, but loyalty, honesty, you know, those kind of traits right there, you can't put a price on. Now, my friends, we're all honest with each other. You know, we're loyal. Don't backstab. You know, I try to be there for them when they're going through tough times. You know, I try to counsel them. You know, listen. Main thing is just listening. You know, people need to vent and rant. Trust me, I used to do a lot of it. I don't anymore, as you can see in my videos. Oh my goodness, look at this. And I've worked on myself on that. I've always said actions speak louder than words. Oh man, this place is so beautiful. I know this one's gonna run a little long, but I don't care. I'm in the moment. I feel like giving some good advice. Oh. You know, but yeah, mend your relationships and your family. You know, those worth mending. You know, if you got family that just is a negativity and does always in trouble and they somehow infect you with it, limit their access to you. If not, cut it off altogether. You know, I can honestly say I wish no ill will on anybody. Well, except for those that wish ill will upon me. I'm not a turn other cheek kind of guy. No, 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 no. And I never go on the defensive. I'm always on the offensive. I'm always 5-10 steps ahead, thinking of moves. I always got the next line loaded up to say. You know, always check your six. Now, here's some parenting advice now that I'm going to give. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth. Teach your kids how to swim. If you don't teach your kids how to swim, you don't love them as much as you think. And if you don't know how to swim, learn how to swim with them. You can save 2 lives at once. Just like that. Just by basic swimming. 95% of all drowning deaths are caused by just not being able to basically, oh my, look at the tree there. Got burned out. Wow, man, this place is something else. You know, invest in their education. I know you're tired of coming home from work. Trust me, I've been there. You know, but you ain't got to really know a whole lot about it. You know, just a lot of times your kids just want you to be there to try to help with them. And who knows, maybe you can learn something too while you're at it. You know, I helped my kid check his homework. It wasn't easy. But he's a smart kid now. He had good grades, went to college, and he's happy. Me and his mama didn't do that. You know, turned out like the rest of them. You know, you're handicapping your children. You know, I am so proud of the fact that my son, he didn't have it as hard as I did. Oh, look at these. I always enjoy nature's beauty. All right, hang on. Nice. Smells so pretty. But yes, you know, our children are our future. If you don't invest in them, well, you know, look at these urban neighborhoods. You know, take the fathers out of the, you know, and fathers, suck up your pride, man. Suck up your egos, man. Put them in check. You know, yes, these mothers can do a lot of stuff they ain't supposed to, but you know what? Do it for your children. And you can limit also how they treat you. But more than anything, don't talk bad about your the other parent in front of the kid. That does so much psychological damage, and they'll end up resenting it. I'll tell you that. It's one thing I always avoided. You know, his mama loves him. My son loves mama and his stepdaddy too. So why am I gonna deprive him of that and cause problems there, huh? Never understood that with people. I'm a lot of things, but I ain't a hypocrite. Yeah. There's too many hypocrites in this world. Ooh. Came from down there, coming on up now. But yeah, invest in your children's future. It'll pay for itself. And they'll thank you for it later. You know, gotta stop this cycle, man. Something bad happened to you, don't perpetuate it on. Break the cycle. Make sure it doesn't happen. That's the thing, you know, I was so thankful that my son didn't have to go through the hardships I went through. Yeah. You know, at first his mom was a little poor. You know, I was still starting out in my career. You know, but I always paid my child support. One had nothing to do with the other. Luckily, I was so fortunate for the most part. You know, my kid's mom let me get my son when I came back into town. You know, more than the court would allow it. And for that, I am eternally grateful. You know, every week, every Saturday. You know, oh, look at the size of this mushroom. What? Look at that. Look like a russet potato. I ain't eating it. Oh, D-E-D dead. Oh man, look at this. You could crawl in that little cubby hole. But yeah, help your kids learn how to swim. And if you don't know how to swim, why are you doing on a boat? You know, boats capsize. You know. Ah, see, I knew I was. Look at that. Can you see it? Yeah, spider webs everywhere. See, yeah, I'm the only one been on this trail. At least in this area of it. Had to dodge that one, thanks to the sun. Listen to this. A woodpecker pecking, that's it. You know, take a walk with your children. Talk to them. You know, you don't know your kids as well as you think you do. And if you allow the streets to raise your kids, then you've lost. They have no future. You know, police now, you know, they have a tough job. I have the utmost respect for law enforcement that do their honest job. I couldn't do it, I tell you right now. I don't have the patience for it, nor the temperament. And I ain't like, say for instance, and it has happened here recently. I get pulled over by a cop. I didn't get mad at all because I was speeding. It was inadvertent, said I'm sorry. You know, give my ticket, send me on my way. You know, I wasn't mad. When I was younger, I was mad because I was stupid and ignorant and retarded. Get mad because the cop pulled me over because I was speeding. I was breaking the law. You see, that's stupid. You know, I've never run from the cops. You know, one, because it was the wrong thing to do, and two, you know, I knew if you did, somebody get hurt. Or back then, you went to jail for years. That's another thing we need to do. Bring back punishment. You know, consequences, repercussions for your actions. That's why everybody's stealing today. Because they seen the course, just let them go. Well, cops let them go. These corrupt, you know, Soros prosecutors don't prosecute. And then these Marxist judges let them go. Let them. Whatever road you took to get to me, in the line. So I tell you, there's lots of things in my life that are automatic death sentence carried out on the spot. And I would do it accordingly. And there's nothing anybody can say or do about it. You know, people need to learn. Man, I didn't work all my life for stuff just for somebody can come in and steal it and try to inflict harm upon me. No. You might not know how much your life's worth, but I know. I tell you right now, you try to steal the belly button lint off of me. I'm serious. You try to take the lint out of my belly button and I'll pull a hole in your head. You know, I'm good enough. I could shoot the wing. You know, nah. Well, I'll shoot to kill. You know, winged assailant is still a dangerous assailant, not a dead one. You know, I don't want to come to that, but I will. I've been planning and preparing my whole life for it. And if and when it happens, well, it's going to happen. You know, and then I'm going to tell them next. It's a warning. Eat it, don't, I don't care. But it produces results. Reproducible results. Oh man, this place is something else. Look at all that down there. Anywho, off of that now. But, you know, your health. Work on your health, people. Get your weight in check. You know, I can work on not eating so many processed foods. I know that. But I do eat salads here and there. You know, try to eat less unhealthy. My weight's definitely in check at 155. So I'm happy about that. You know, I need to get back up to about 160 though. You know, but I'm out here walking, doing as much as I can. I don't think I'll be able to do as much as I could before I broke my ankle, but you know what? I'm able to do this. I'm very thankful and happy. That's gratitude. That's perspective. You know, I probably ain't ever gonna be able to hike to the summit of Mount St. Helens like I wanted to. I'm not gonna be able to hike, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 miles in on a backpacking camp. You know, it is what it is. But I can do so much still. And you know what? That's all right by me. You know, that's the things that we need to look at. And if you're working so much, start making a plan now to cut back. You know, if you're doing it because of money, cut back on expenses. You know, make some changes. Oh. There we go, back up here. Yeah. And on that, I think, man, that's enough. You know what? I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. Y'all get out there and enjoy nature, people. Later.